Hello, friends. Now, today we will discuss yesterday's question and we'll try to see what will be the model answer for that. Now, if you remember, yesterday's question was from Western philosophy. So, now let us see what was the question and what can be the model answer for that. So the question was evaluate the cogito argument. Does it escape circularity? So, this is the question. Now, if you remember, cogito argument is from Descartes, cogito ergo sum. So, its question is talking about that. So, basically, we have to evaluate that argument and we have to see whether it is able to escape circularity or not, and also what are other criticism, and then we have to try to finally conclude the answer. Now, let us start. Can absolute certainty survive radical doubt? Descartes' cogito argument, that is cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, offers a ground-breaking reply. In Meditations on First Philosophy, that is his book, Descartes suspends belief in everything, sense perception, mathematical truths, even the existence of his own body. But one certainty remains: the very act of doubting affirms the existence of a thinking subject. If he is deceived, there must be an I to be deceived. That was Descartes' logic was. In fact, in earlier question, we discussed that even if there is a demon who is misleading with everything, he cannot mislead with a thinking subject. So that's what Descartes' view, and from that he derived cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Cogito is not deducted through logic, but directly intuited, a moment of self-evident truth. For Descartes, it becomes the epistemic foundation on which knowledge is built, grounded in clear and distinct ideas. Yet, critics, whether it escapes circularity, now let us see whether it escapes circularity, part 2 of the question. Anthony Arnold and later even Immanuel Kant noted that Descartes relies on truth of clear and distinct perception to validate the cogito, but also needs God's existence to guarantee their reliability, forming the infamous Cartesian circle. So here now circle has been formed, that on the one hand, you are relying on truth of clear and distinct perception to validate cogito, but also you require God's existence to guarantee that their reliability. So therefore, it's become circular argument. So basically, if you see, the Descartes has not been, or his cogito argument has not been able to come out of this circularity question. Now, what are other critics? Further critics from Nietzsche, Martin Heidegger, and Derrida. All three are existentialists who dispute the cogito's assumption of a stable, unified I. They argue that self is fragmented, historical contingent, and shaped by language and power structures. Then another critic, Gilbert Ryle, in his book Concept of Mind, dismissed Descartes' dualism as the myth of ghost in the machine. If you remember, Descartes' mind-body dualism he has posited. So that is declared as myth of ghost in the machine, further challenging the metaphysical assumptions behind cogito. Because this is the metaphysical assumption, because their mind is separate, body is separate. And then there is a pituitary gland, all those things Descartes has proposed. So that is the argument behind cogito. So that is being challenged by Gilbert Ryle. Yet, cogito marks a decisive turn in modern thought. From inherited authority to self-grounded rationality, whether or not it escapes all critique. Definitely it is not able to escape, but it reorients philosophy towards a thinking subject as the starting point of certainty. Definitely, to that extent, its contribution has to be recognized. In conclusion, Descartes' cogito remains a spark of indubitable insight amid radical doubt. Obviously, it is. It may not silence all objections, but it forever altered how we ask what can be known and who is the knower. So definitely it has not been able to escape circularity, but its contribution is very, very important and cannot be denied for subsequent philosophical discourses also. Now let us see what will be the tomorrow's question. Tomorrow's question, as you know, will be from Indian philosophy. Explain the doctrine of Anekantvad. How does it resolve metaphysical disputes? So this is the question we will be taking up to tomorrow. Explain the doctrine of Anekantvad. How does it resolve metaphysical disputes? Now, if you remember, this question is from Jainism, and then earlier 2-3 questions we have dealt from Charvak's philosophy. Now we are coming to Jainism. So we'll a few questions we will take from Jainism, and then we'll slowly move to Buddhism and other chapters of Indian philosophy. And accordingly, we are doing in other sections also. So tomorrow we'll be taking up the answer of this Indian philosophy question. Thanks a lot for watching today's video. Thank you one and all.